How's everybody doing out there, chat? We all doing good? I don't know about you all, but that Pikmin 2 run was pretty cool. Let's get a nice rip in chat for all the Pikmin lost along the way. And also that one Dweevil that just decided to run straight off the edge. You hate to see it, but at the same time, Dweevils are kind of annoying, so maybe you love to see it. Also, I just saw in chat that Noah, or Popcorn Parfait, got a massive PB. Big GG's on that. Well, for those of you just tuning in from the raid, this is SDAT 2023, Speed Doxathon 2023. Just as a reminder of the schedule, today is the last day of this weekend. Yes, you heard that correct. This weekend of SDAT. In fact, there is a whole another weekend next weekend that stretches all the way into Labor Day. Fantastic. That's more SDAT per SDAT. You gotta love it. And we are raising money for Save the Children, which of course is a fantastic cause. So far, you all have done amazing. We have over $2,000 raised for the cause. We want to keep those donations pouring in. We do have a donation incentive coming up, which will close fairly shortly for Pikmin 3 Deluxe, which is make the end of the run a bit harder or more difficult, however you want to phrase it. That being said, we would love to see that marker get hit so we can, make the life of the runner a little bit more difficult. So I've just been informed that that particular incentive, first of all, it hasn't been met yet, but you all can meet it if we can just get maybe a $1 train rolling, a $5 train, a $500 train. I'm not really sure. Either way, we can meet that incentive, and you got it till about the 30 to 35 minute mark during the run for that incentive to close, as it will no longer be something that will be able to be done during the run. So get those donations coming in. Let's make that Pikmin 3 run more difficult. And again, it's all for a great cause. Looks like we're going to be moving on to this Pikmin 3 Deluxe run right now, so don't click away, stay tuned, and we'll be right back at you with some Pikmin 3. Let's get right to it.
Thank you for calling the offices of Dayman. Please listen closely as our menu options have recently changed. For a directory of services, press 0 or choose from one of the following menu options. For Third Strike, press 1. For Street Fighter 6, press 2. For Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, press 3. For Super Mario RPG randomizers, please press 4. For Extreme G or XGRA content, please press 5. For all other options, please press 0 or stay on the line and someone from our staff will be with you shortly. Interested in more Dayman content? You can check out his stream at twitch.tv/DaymanAha or twitch.tv/DaymanAAA.
We help people in a way that they don't have to move very long distances to the health center. We're picking up the very sick patients, emergency cases, then the priority, and then the rest of the patients.
Malaria. Bokaranga na dalo malaria, bot nana paracetamol, bot nana lo goko, ampicillin, syrup.
When you're saving one life and someone comes and testifies, you did this for me, it's fulfilling, it's a really good feeling.
Positioning. Oh, come on. And we're back. Welcome back to SDAT 2023. For the rest of the Pikmin block, we're going to be seeing Pikmin 3 Deluxe All Fruits, done by Sbudiver. And yes, we had a simple commentary runner flip-flop switcheroo. So if you want to get your Curtis and Sbudiver fix, you're in the right place. You guys can go ahead and take it away. Let's check out this run, shall we, folks?
All right, thank you. Hi, I'm Sbudiver, and I'm doing the all fruit speed run. So timing is gonna start when I press normal. Do I just give a countdown?
Yep.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Commentating this run, I have Curtis.
20XX.
Hello, I'm back again.
So, jumping right in, we start off with the tutorial, which is pretty simple. We just kind of run through it. It's going to teach us how to whistle and how to throw Pikmin, but we already know how to do that.
Yeah, Pikmin 3 has a more traditional day one in its speedrun, because unfortunately you can't skip it or anything. Pikmin 2 currently is the only game in the series where you can do it reasonably in a speedrun.
So, unfortunately,
it being skipping the tutorial.
The start is quite boring. You just run to the end. And then, after this sort of Charlie intermission, where he gets attacked, we cut to our other captain, Alf, who is in a different area. And then, with Alf, that's where we're gonna get our onion, get our red Pikmin, and start growing Pikmin. But first we just had to do that Charlie section.
It's foreshadowing for later in the run where we walk through the pretty area with the pretty camera again.
So we get the onion, and then we're gonna load this bridge, and instead of just doing nothing while they do the bridge, we're gonna speed it up the best we can, and we're gonna do that by pushing the little bridge pieces closer to the end, and I'm throwing the red Pikmin back onto the bridge, and we're just doing everything we can to speed it up.
Quick question for you guys. Do you both run Pikmin 2 and 3? Just out of curiosity?
We do both run both games. I've put a lot less effort into Pikmin 3, though, overall.
Yeah, Curtis...
I would say we've put about equal efforts into Pikmin 1, and maybe more on my end in Pikmin 2, but it's pretty close. But SBU has done a lot in Pikmin 3.
I got pretty unlucky there, because it's rare that a Pikmin even gets stuck there at all, but I had 3 Pikmin get stuck. So while I come back, we try and kill the grubs early, if we can, but I only killed 2. So we go back, we get our Pikmin, and then we come back for round 2, where we collect all the other stuff. There I did a technique where if you cancel the pluck after you've already started it, the Pikmin will still pluck, but you're free to move to the other Pikmin, or the other sprouts, to pluck them faster. It's a neat little trick throughout the run that is going to save time. So the slowest thing is that 5 pellet, so we're going to do everything we can to speed it up.
Yeah, Pikmin speedruns are full of limiting factors. I didn't use that term specifically in the Pikmin 2 run, but it's like the same concept, where you want to get the slowest thing moving the fastest, so it doesn't take as long as it would if you just, did the closest thing, and then the next closest thing, and then the farthest thing. It's a lot faster when you start the 5 pellet here pretty early, so it gets in like right behind the stuff that's meant to be sooner. For instance, it gets a lot more complicated on later days when there's like 15 fruits moving at the same time, or what have you.
Yeah. So we've got 2 minutes of downtime if you want to say some stuff.
Actually, I did have a question. Pikmin 3 is the only Pikmin game I've actually not played in the series at all. Started off with Pikmin 1 and 2, like most people did, and then obviously recently I played through 4. I even tried to speedrun it for just a little bit, and I'll probably get back to that at some point. But where would you put Pikmin 3 in kind of the tier list of Pikmin speedruns specifically?
Definitely the worst one. I'm gonna be honest. It is
As
not
in
that good.
easiest or hardest? Or do you just mean worse, like, in the general sense?
I just mean in like a general sense, yeah.
I don't think it's a good speedrun. It's got a lot of annoying stuff. The only good part of this game is just all fruits, like the second half. But it's got a bunch of stupid tricks and a bunch of RNG. That matters a lot at the top level, but so I do think it's the worst speedrun.
SBU is keeping those viewers retained, calling his speedrun bad.
Yeah.
I mean, Pikmin 4 hasn't been out that long, but with the trajectory that it's going, it looks like it's going to be at least better than 3. We'll see if it's better than 2 or 1, but at that point, all 4 of those games are good in their own way to speedrun, so at a certain point it just kind of comes down to what set of mechanics you're the most used to and like the most. Pikmin 3 started the trend of modernized Pikmin mechanics, quote unquote, because Pikmin 1 and 2 were pretty similar mechanically. But 3 and 4 are definitely a lot closer to each other than to 1 and 2. And it turns out SBU is a master of these mechanics, so we will hopefully see a good run from them.
Hopefully. This run can't snowball very quickly. So at the start of this day, we have a bunch of stuff that we need to do, so we're going to spread out our Pikmin everywhere to accomplish all of them at once. We're going to break both walls, start building the bridge, and grow our numbers.
The thing preventing you from moving on in this area right away is it's actually the dirt wall that's past the bridge. So So he went and started that pretty quickly because it's going to be done basically right when he gets there. Instead of having to build the whole bridge and then take down the wall from scratch. It's a lot better this way.
We are going to nectar our Pikmin here. They're going to go from leaves to flowers, and flower Pikmin are faster than leaves, which is beneficial in a speedrun.
This is actually one of the one of the only changes they made from 3U to 3DX is adding eggs in this area on day 2, which is pretty helpful for the speedrun, honestly. The route used to be a lot worse for this day on 3U.
It was just the same. It's just you waited for like 2 minutes at the end.
Well, worse in that it was slower, I guess. Because you're waiting on stuff to get in at the end for a while. So those reds that he charged onto the Bobo are going to grow while he's out here doing all this stuff. And it turns out you can do this with only 12 reds.
Yeah, in the Switch port, they added normal mode, which halves the health of every single enemy in the game, which makes a lot of these fights go from not very hard to begin with to completely trivial.
Yeah, it turns out that charging is a pretty broken mechanic, even in 3U, but in 3DX, it will just like melt enemies, more or less.
So we got our second type of Pikmin there, rock Pikmin. They break glass, they are rocks, they're gonna be needed. So there we collected our first fruit. We collect 66 of them. And here we're going to collect 2 more. I'm going to try and beat this and get it before the cutscene warps me back.
Nice data file.
Nice. That was an
RNG manipulation.
So there, I collected the fruit right as that cutscene played, and that warps me back here anyways. So while that... So it saved a little bit of time walking. And we just nectar all our Pikmin, so it's faster.
Yeah, 3DX is, and I guess the Wii versions of 1 and 2 and the Switch version, they added the feature where you can move the cursor and your captain, but they can be like independent of each other. And it turns out that that's really, really good for multitasking because you don't have to like walk all the way up to something and align your cursor with it and then do the thing and then walk to the next thing. You're seeing SBU do a lot of stuff like as he's walking through an area and not stopping. And that's pretty critical to going fast. This strat looks really dangerous, but I promise it's completely safe. I've done it myself, and it's completely safe.
Yeah, it's completely trivial. There is basically no risk of it. I don't think I've seen anybody ever lose a run to it. So we got our Pikmin back, and while that wall is breaking, we're just gonna grow a few more Pikmin.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot that these reds that are still back at base can do while the Maudad fight is happening, so SB is just gonna take advantage of the time to multitask there and grow some more Pikmin.
So when I opened my map there, I used a feature called Go Here, and that basically just lets us send a captain anywhere we want, and we're gonna be seeing that a lot this run.
Yeah, it's like the evolved form of the knapsack from 1 and 2. Because the knapsack could only let you like quick travel back to the onions, excluding the time where we used it for, you know, climbing vertically up walls. You can't really do that with Go Here, unfortunately. But Go Here is a lot more powerful because you not only have 3 captains, but you have like this feature that lets you go like anywhere on the map that you've already been, and it's really nice. Also, this fight is RNG based and can have like, I think like 20 seconds of variance or something, maybe more than that.
Yeah, I got a pretty good pattern there, so that was good. It's also completely trivial with normal version, and this was not supposed to happen. Oh dear. So that blowhog, for some reason, how did it die if there was no Pikmin on it? So that blowhog was supposed to come in, but it didn't. So it means that this gate's going to be a little slower, but it's fine.
Yeah, basically, the objective at this point is that this gate needs to come down before he leaves the area, and he wants to go through there to unlock that portion of the map for Go Here later. And it's convenient because he's waiting on the phone and the fruit from the mod ad to get in anyway, but he has to do all this stuff basically before those things get in. He's not going to collect the fruit on this day, but he needs the phone to progress. So basically all this stuff needs to happen before the phone gets in a perfect world.
So we are going to wait on this dirt wall for a little bit. We do have some downtime though, if you want to say some stuff.
Well, I wanted to apologize because I just realized I lied a little bit earlier on accident. I did actually play through the Pikmin 3 demo that dropped on Switch a little while back. It was just like a demo for the deluxe version, and I think it only went up through the mod ad fight and like just collecting the phone, if I'm not utterly mistaken.
You are correct.
Yeah, I enjoyed what I did play of it. I honestly, I need to actually get the game and really play through it, especially given that I've played 1, 2, and 4. That's kind of an odd combination, it feels like.
Yeah, Pikmin 3, it's definitely a very good game casually. It plays a lot like 1, but with not as much chaos. And also, the side modes are really good as well. So we're going into the next area, which is going to have yellow Pikmin, and we're going to grow some yellow Pikmin and then do a little sequence break with them to skip the whole puzzle. There is a chance that I mess it up and it loses about 2 minutes, but hopefully that doesn't happen.
Also, you saw 2 of those fruits get juice at the end of the day. There are 66 fruits in the game. You don't see a juicing cutscene for the first one, but for every other one you do, so there's going to be a lot of that later in the run.
Yeah.
Kind of the cool part of all fruits is that on the first visit to every area, you basically set yourself up for, like, doing a clean sweep of the area on the return trip. So it basically just rushes to endgame, more or less.
And endgame is definitely the coolest part.
So SBU will be growing yellows on this day. There is a way to get out of the cave without doing that, but unfortunately you need yellows for more things than just this day in all fruits, so he will not be doing that.
We're going to go to 20.
20 or 25?
I'm going to do 20.
Okay. There is an extra pellet in here that he could get, but it loses a fair bit of time to get it, and doing the route with 20 yellows isn't like substantially harder, so yeah, he's just gonna do 20. Although 20 is actually the minimum for the part right after the cave.
Yeah, you need 20 to crush that iron ball, or move the iron ball. I promise you Brittany's fine. You just skip the cutscene.
Yeah, she totally doesn't get run over by this iron ball.
So this looks like a wall, but you can just walk up it. Is this a suggestion?
Yeah, in this game, walls are merely suggestions if you are brave enough and know the game well enough. Even invisible walls, like the one that he's kind of just gonna phase through between these 2 roots right here.
Yeah.
They used to do that a lot more, like, several years ago, like, all over the place they would do little, like, clips like that, but yeah, they've kind of just been, like, obsoleted by other ways of getting to these areas. So these invisible walls here are really weird, and you have to stand in a very particular place to get those throws.
Yeah, that was what I was worried about messing up, but we got it. It's not that they're obsoleted because we found better ways. They're obsoleted because they don't work in the Switch version.
Oh yeah, a lot of them got patched out as well.
The Switch version is still faster though.
There was like 1.0 and 1.1 or whatever, and 3U for the Wii U. And then they released 2.0 in like 2019 or whatever, and then they made the Switch version a few years after.
So what I did there was a long whistle. If you enter a loading zone, it doesn't matter where the Pikmin are. As long as they're in your party, they will come with you through the loading zone. And we used that a few times throughout the run.
The one in particular that he did is cool because he switched captains to manipulate the camera to be like panned further out so the whistle would actually reach his reds and his rocks. There are some that he'll do later where he just like walks ahead with a captain and it just works though.
So coming into our second boss fight, I'm going to go for a 2 cycle, which I will hopefully get.
Yeah, the moments that you charge the boss while it's on the ground determines whether it's going to do like a quick get up or whether it's going to let you do like half of his health in one cycle.
So we need to time turning on this light for as he gets by. So right when the second wing flaps, that's when you want to charge to do the most damage, and we did get the 2 cycles, so that's good. So I'm just going to push this paper bag, do a few long whistles to preserve Pikmin, and then end the day, and then we'll have about a minute of downtime.
Yeah, so leaving Pikmin behind is sort of an inevitability when you run 3. But the idea is that you don't really want to run out of your important colors. Reds are kind of like, you can lose a few reds here and there, and it's not the end of the world. It's just like a second or two of time loss here and there. Like that one. That was a
yellow.
No, that was a yellow?
The cherry got stopped. I threw a yellow on the cherry, right?
You did.
Then it must have gotten hit by a boulder.
I mean, yellow death isn't the end of the world. It's just gonna make this split a little slower, maybe, but yeah.
Yeah, the only thing
you don't really want to use rocks much at all, if you can help it, but reds are kind of like, you can throw a few reds away here and there and it's fine, as long as you're not like squad wiping.
Yeah, after this next day, reds are irrelevant. You only need like a few. But you really want to have 100 Pikmin for this day. So because I lost the yellow there, I'm pretty sure one of my reds is going to be a leaf instead of a flower, so I'm going to have to bring an extra red Pikmin with me.
I also noticed that you're playing in German.
Yes, it saves like 4 seconds.
Yeah, the language only affects the text like at the end of days or like at the before you select an area and stuff like that.
It skips out 3 text boxes on day 3, and then it saves time in the tutorial, and that's the only places.
It's unusual to see German be a faster speed. Usually it's I mean, like 9 times out of 10 it's Japanese, but I feel like for a lot of more modern games I'm starting to see some other languages creep into the speed run mythos a little bit.
Chinese is also optimal, but they're the same speed, and I choose to run in German because I can read a little bit of German, but I cannot read any Chinese. And
very valid.
It's pretty helpful in this game because sometimes the captains will like say something, like something's going wrong, Pikmin's on fire, or they're getting attacked or something, and it's important to know that.
Okay, so that was the first instance of one of those cool tricks. So when you pick up and press B to release, like, you can pick up captains, and if you press B, you release whatever you're holding. So when you do that with a captain in certain areas, like in corners, you can put the captain into the wall, and doing that let him get Alf into that like upper bridge area and skip a whole like 3 captain puzzle, bringing all your captains around that way, where Brittany just was getting a fruit.
So coming up next is probably the coolest part of the speedrun. We're gonna do a boss fight, but while we're doing the boss fight, we're still going to be doing other stuff during the day. So we're gonna be attacking him, and then while they're during his downtime, we're gonna switch and do other stuff.
Yeah, you spend like way less time actually in the boss arena controlling Alf than you do like anywhere else in this area. Basically,
so we attacked him, and during his attack, while we're waiting for the next one, I'm going to deal with this guy, unfortunately. He normally doesn't get me there. Hopefully they don't become an issue either.
Oh yeah, those green shear grubs are kind of annoying sometimes. Because what they do is they go after fruits that you're getting and they try to stop them. Even going so far as to like jump off the ground at a fruit that's like going up a ledge being carried by winged Pikmin.
Yeah, it's unfortunately RNG, and it can very easily kill a lot of runs. Not so much on this first day, because you can still get the fruit on the revisit day. But on the revisit day, if it stops something, that's pretty much run over. So that was the Mirror Slug. Pretty easy boss fight. And then we're going to collect all that fruit. And while that fruit is coming back, we're going to clean up the rest of this area.
So the main objectives at this point is he wants to get all of the fruits going at this point that require Pikmin that aren't wings, because coming back here with like a big group of wings later and just cleaning everything up is a lot faster than coming in through here with like mixed colors and having to carry stuff all the way around this area. Also, he's getting the spicy berries. Pretty cool in this game because they added the feature where Pikmin carrying those berries will return to the plant and keep doing it. So you can just kind of put some Pikmin on there early in the day and leave them, and you'll end up farming spices while you're like doing the run, basically.
Yeah, we do that on day 6 and day 8 as well, and day 5.
The segment is also cool because it's one of those things where it's like, it's another thing where you're waiting for something to get in. In this case, it's the cell phone and the watermelon, like the split up versions of it. And you're waiting for all that to get in, so this is basically like how much stuff can you get done before those things get in, and you're effectively wasting time.
So here we're gonna kill that crab for the future day. And I'm pretty sure the plum did get stopped.
This guy likes to not die sometimes if he gets lured the wrong way. But thankfully that did not happen, because that's a bit of a nightmare if you don't kill him there.
The plum did get stopped, so I am going to deal with that real quick. It's not too far out of the way. So if you just throw bombs at his legs, you don't have to deal with them.
That one's a little far. Final one. But it still worked. So it's all good.
So
the interesting thing about 3... The thing about 3 is that when enemies shake Pikmin off in this game, it doesn't like deflower them or anything, it's just like a little time loss. But if that happens in any of the other games, it will like transition your Pikmin down to like buds or leaves if they were flowers. And that's really annoying, because then like you don't have them as flowers, so everything else is slower, and then you have to reflower them somewhere else. which sucks. But thankfully in this game, that is not a thing.
It does make the game easier, but it is great to have. So we're just gonna move these fruits closer so we can get them on the revisit day. That's a bit many, but I think it's fine. So we have about a minute of downtime if you would like to read any donations.
Yeah, we do have one donation that's came in from GMA and GPA for $25. There's no comment, but thanks for that donation. Every little bit counts for sure, and no comment is necessary. All of your support is greatly appreciated regardless. Reminder, we do have an incentive for this game that I believe will be closing very soon that has not been met yet as well to make the end of the run more difficult. Just remind me again, Sbudiver, when will that incentive be no longer a doable thing?
In about 9 minutes from now.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna cut that off at the end of the next day.
Because it is going to affect how many wings I grow on the following day, and then it is going to change the area order. So going into day 5, we're going to get our 4th type of Pikmin, Wing Pikmin, which we're going to use for most of the rest of the run. But we're not actually going to grow a lot, and you'll see why later on, because there is a much faster way to grow them.
Yeah, it's cool. They made all these cool, intricate puzzles in this game, and it turns out that you can just skip a bunch of them by using wings and pressing the charge button, and they just kind of do the thing.
They're not even glitches. Like, most of these things, a lot of people haven't done casually because Wing Pikmin do it for them. So
this is another one of these, these corner clips. This one actually skips like a lot more than the last one, because the alternative to that clip that he just did is like going to the other side of the map, getting bridge pieces, and then going all the way back here. This way is much faster. And these corner clips aren't even very hard either. It's more about like angles and stuff than it is actually like precision.
The only one that's arguably hard is the one in the previous area, but even then it's not too bad.
So these lily pads in this area are on a cycle, and there's a pretty crucial one for when he's like leaving this zone through the pipe and going to the next one.
It's more lenient any percent, but in all fruits we do a few more things, so it is pretty tight. But I think I am on pace to get it. The fastest cycle. That's really lucky.
That guy.
Got a spicy spray there. It's supposed to drop nectar, but spicy is better.
Oh yeah, spicy is effectively nectar, I guess, in this case. Because, spoiler, he will be using a spicy on the boss in this area. So, yeah, they changed from 2 to 3. They added a feature where if you use a spicy spray, all the Pikmin in your party instantly become flowers, which is cool. That was not the case in 2. It just made them, like, carry and walk as if they were flowered, but, like, very slightly not. Yeah, spicies are pretty good in 3, especially when you're using, like, wings, because wings have... Their one disadvantage is that they don't do very much damage compared to any other type. But when you're using a spicy and you're playing on normal mode in 3DX, where all the enemies have like no health, it's pretty inconsequential at that point. So this is yet another corner clip, but instead of doing it once, he's going to do it twice, because he needs to get 2 captains there. Because he also needs to throw one up that ledge to get a captain into the boss area early, which skips having to get all the bridge pieces in this area and build a giant bridge up there.
We did another long whistle there to get all the Pikmin to the boss area. So you may have noticed that the path back is normally a bridge, but that's not there. So after this boss, we're gonna have to clip the fruit and the Louis through the wall, which is pretty finicky, unfortunately, so it might lose some time. This boss fight's pretty simple. You just kind of charge him and he dies. You do have to 2-cycle him though, because there is a hard damage cap.
The interesting thing is that, I guess the one interesting thing about this boss is that killing some of the small Scornets in that phase makes this phase start a lot sooner. Because otherwise you would just be sitting there waiting for like 10 seconds in between phases.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Louis. Louis is a bit of a prankster, starting in... Well, I guess he was technically in Pikmin 2, but in this game he really just starts to mess with you a lot. So, well, in the story at least, he starts to mess with you after this day, but in the speedrun he starts messing with you on this day, because you need to clip him through the invisible wall, where we skip the bridges before the boss fight. And it turns out that is not very trivial sometimes.
Please? That looked really good, but didn't clip. Okay, not awful. Third try. Like, that can lose several minutes. That's how bad this clip is.
Also, he's making sure to put the maximum amount of Pikmin on it, because Louis getting in is the thing preventing you from finishing this day, aka the limiting factor.
Is that gonna grab?
Okay, so this is interesting. So if you have any Pikmin grab that pair, for some reason when you come here on the return day, that pair is just in front of the stone gate and you don't need to bomb it. Oh, don't ask me why that's true, but it just works.
Yeah, it's so strange. So we bring the boss corpse down to help us clip this fruit. It's not required to, but it helps with it.
Yeah, the thing about Louis clipping through this invisible wall is that there's at least some kind of like pseudoscience for when you decide to pick him up again and where you throw your Pikmin at him. Here it's more or less just you're whistling your wings and you're dismissing them until they get it through. You can try like standing under it to push it a little bit to the sides, and sometimes that helps, but I feel like it's sometimes just more random than Louis. Even though Louis is already pretty random.
The papaya is definitely more random. And sometimes there, it'll path that way. Did we make the incentive?
Unfortunately, we have not met the incentive, but that does mean an easy run for you. That being said, for those of you still wanting to donate for something in general, there is a Zelda block coming up after this that has a variety of goals and incentives that can be met as well. It might just be polls, actually. Let me take a quick look. You all take it away for just a moment, and I'll get right back to you on that.
Alright, so going into this next area, we're going to start the day out by duplicating or cloning our wing Pikmin. There has been a method since like week 1 that involves cloning Pikmin by ending the day, but more recently we found a method that allows you to do it just from the onion.
And obviously if you can dupe Pikmin pretty quickly, then that's a lot better than sitting there and growing Pikmin with corpses, especially with where the wing onion was on day 5. Like, there is just nothing more around there to grow with than what he already got. And he's gonna need, like, I don't even know how many you grow here, like 60 or something?
57.
But we use wings a lot in all fruits. Turns out they're very good. But this is also the start of like the very complicated revisit days where you're collecting like a lot of fruits at once. So you will see a lot of multitasking starting in this area.
Yeah, this is the most complicated day, so I might be quiet for a little bit, but I'll try my best to commentate.
Okay, so the duping works because he's putting away colors that he doesn't want more of, and then he's taking out the wings, and then he's activating the onion before the reds and rocks, in this case, go back in. So the game doesn't really register that the wings are being taken out, and it just gives you more wings. TLDR.
Yeah, it's very weird.
This is the blue onion. We love blues because they make you do revisit days for every area.
Except technically Twilight River, but have fun doing 10 frame perfect inputs without a visual cue if you want to one-day it.
Yeah, there's technically a way to get the underwater fruits in that area without blues, but it's, for one, not faster in like an RTA speedrun context, and two, very, very stupid and difficult.
It's been known for like 2 years. Only one person has ever done it. Shoutouts to Ice Cube.
Yeah, Ice Cube, the legend. I think former world record holder. Even since like, well, before 3DX even came out.
Yeah, Ice is the former world record holder of Pikmin 3U. And he still has the 3U world record, but there's no competition there.
Yeah, everyone kind of forgot that 3U existed when 3DX came out, because it's on a more popular console, and more often than not, it just has advantages over 3U. So we just pretend like 3U doesn't exist at this point, basically.
So that fire cutscene was bad because it basically, they're stopping the Pikmin on the gates. So I am going to have to go and put more yellows on there.
This is also not exactly ideal.
The rocks dying are no big deal, because we kill them anyways.
I suppose.
But I had these
a little bit of time loss. It's a little scary if you're trying to like one cycle that, or like two cycle with the rock throws, and like he starts eating your Pikmin like all over the place.
There is a faster quick kill here, but I'm just going for the safer method. I need to do this now.
Yeah, the quick kill there is kind of finicky because he has not really like a damage cap, but like a point in his like cycle of getting hit by the Pikmin where he'll start shaking them off. And you don't want that to happen before you've killed him, basically. So timing that swarm there is pretty critical.
Yeah.
Drought Ender has appeared in chat and said, "Hi, SBU," and asks, "Is this run going to have the new FO strat?"
No. It's basically, there's some very inconsistent way where you can make the Plasm Wraith attack Olimar at a very specific point, and it basically just launches him to the other side of the map. But that is far too risky for this run.
By the way, killing these rocks here is intentional. Unfortunately, rock Pikmin are good, so killing them means that he had to grow some elsewhere to continue to have enough for the run. But it means that he doesn't have to go all the way back to the onion to take blues out. He's just having blues spawn right here from growing earlier. So it speeds up this portion a lot by not having to do like onion management in the middle of this. these rocks dying also intentional because he also
We
needs
need
to take
red
Pikmin out
Pikmin.
later. Yeah. So dismiss mechanics are cool in this game because when you do like a dismiss of your whole squad, it dismisses everything except for what you are selected on the bottom of the screen. So you can abuse that to basically just dismiss everything in your party except the thing that you want to keep.
There's also some cool tech with dismiss where you press B as soon as like the dismiss animation is happening, and that lets you skip the little dismiss animation, similar to pluck canceling.
So there's two puzzles in this room. Both of them are completely broken by wings, which is very convenient because you're supposed to have all of your captains over here to get these fruits.
Yep. Hopefully
Getting
this
this-
wall is done by now. Yes, it is.
Getting that big yellow fruit without wings was actually a challenge at the last IRL meetup we did for Pikmin speedrunning community. And I got the fastest time out of everyone there.
I was not there, for the record.
Yeah, unfortunately, the two best 3DX players at the moment, which are SBU and J596, are underage, so we did not invite them. But when they turn 18, we will definitely invite them because they're pretty cool. So this guy exists. Kind of just kill him real quick.
Hopefully that comes back with 5. I'm supposed to have 6 there.
Yeah, there's a lot of points in this run where you kind of just leave some Pikmin on, like a fruit or something, and just assume that it'll get back okay. And usually it works, but when it doesn't work, it's really sad, because you pretty much construct the entire route around things just kind of working out.
Yeah.
When they don't work out, it turns out you have to go like halfway across the map to fix it.
It did work though, so it's all good. So that wasn't the best, but we still did it.
Got a knock on my door, interrupting this sick speedrun. How dare they?
Must have been important. Oh, we have 3 minutes of downtime if you want to do donations.
Yeah, this is where the juicing cutscenes really start becoming a thing. So yeah.
So, just as a reminder for anybody tuning in, this is SDAT 2023. We are raising money for Save the Children. So far, we are just about to hit $2,200 in total. Also, for a reminder, we have more SDAT next weekend. Yes, you heard me right. There is another weekend of SDAT that stretches an additional day until Labor Day. I believe it's Labor Day. Anyway, the point being is this. If you want even more SDAT, be sure to tune in next weekend. Also, this is the last run I am hosting during this block, so I just wanted to say thanks to these lovely Pikmin runners for having me, and thanks to Speed Docs for having me.
And thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a real pleasure. You guys have made my job really easy. You have great conversation, do good commentary as well. It's been a lovely time.
Yeah, everything went really smoothly for us as far as like the technical side of doing these runs, and the back end stuff. So we really appreciate that, and we appreciate the opportunity to do these runs always. Yeah, the staff is pretty dope all around for letting us do this and for doing their jobs really well.
I will take a moment, though, to say there are a few more runs left in the day, and it is a Zelda block. There's some pretty cool runs coming up. The next run in particular is BS, The Legend of Zelda, The Ancient Tablets, I believe it's called, which is a Satellaview game. You all make of that what you will, but pretty interesting. There is a bid war for that as well, to choose between boy or girl. I have no idea what that current bid war is at, but sounds interesting. There's also a donation incentive for the upcoming Ocarina of Time 3D run to banish the forest kid to the Shadow Realm. That incentive has not been met yet, so get some donations rolling in, and let's see if we can banish a child to the Shadow Realm, apparently.
Yeah, as you do. We always love a good banishment to the Shadow Realm.
Oh, I've got a yellow.
Nice.
I don't
It's
want
flowered, though.
Sorry, I do have to wait a sec for him to go in. So I'm gonna use the spicy at the start of the day, just to flower everybody. So it doesn't matter that he's flowered. So I'm sending Alf back to the little tutorial area to get a fruit, while Brittany and Charlie just kind of clear out the back.
Yeah, the funny thing about this routing is that that fruit in the tutorial area is actually the limiting factor of this day if you do everything properly.
Not anymore. I switched to reds to make it faster.
Oh, well, at least it used to be the limiting factor. It also is another one of those fruits where, like, you just expect everything to go smoothly and for it to get in, and sometimes it just doesn't. And then you lose a lot of time.
Yeah. With wings, it could get caught, and then with reds, sometimes the enemies stop it, so hopefully that is not the case. That should work, though.
There's also the point in the run where we start realizing that the only reason why we had to come back to these areas in the first place is because there are things in the water. And if these things were if water simply did not exist, then this would be a 7-day run instead of a 10-day run. It would be a lot harder to do that, probably, but it would be a thing. So there's this really cool enemy in the back of this area where you're meant to use candy pops and get rocks and break its shell, and then you can use Pikmin of any type to kill it. But instead, we just kind of throw some bomb rocks, because bomb rocks are cool.
Yep.
And it does the job for you.
So that Pikmin in the fish is actually going to just escape it with these bomb rocks going off. So, Giga Chad.
Wait, since when is this a thing?
Since 2013 when the game came out.
You know what? You got me there, I guess. I completely did not know that was a mechanic. For sure.
It's alright. You learn something new every day.
So growing blues here is actually kind of critical because you want like 20-something blues for the next day to carry
22. So there, I actually intentionally paused or didn't get the one shot, so that way they would turn into blue pellets, and I would get more Pikmin.
Also, the wings going for a nice little swim. Don't worry about it.
They're completely fine. I think. Okay.
So moments like these are where traffic jams start to become a thing, and you start realizing that you need to speed up the thing that's in front instead of the thing that's gonna come in last.
Yeah.
And these things are getting stopped.
So Pikmin 3 changed the pathing system to add physics, which, while made the game more realistic, unfortunately came at the cost of traffic jams and just stuff not wanting to move. And
well,
also,
it's like
Pikmin not grabbing on in general.
It's like Pikmin 1 had physics with the treasures and the parts, and then Pikmin 2 just removed them, because if things are carrying, then the treasures can just move through each other, no problem. And then they brought the physics back for 3, for some reason.
And it's even worse in 4.
Yeah. Like in 3, sometimes if you have like 70% of the maximum carrying something, then additional Pikmin just refuse to grab it sometimes. You would think that would be the worst Pikmin grabbing onto things system, but no, somehow 4 manages to be worse.
So, when we went from Pikmin 1 to Pikmin 2 to Pikmin 3, they added in the cursor that you can put anywhere you want. And for some reason, in the HD ports and in Pikmin 4, they just removed that. For the most part.
Yeah, another brilliant design decision, courtesy of Nintendo. I'll try not to bog this run down with them, but I think Pikmin 4 has a lot of my least favorite game design decisions ever. Across, like, any game.
So,
Wanted to
going
say
into
thanks
Twilight...
for the raid. Cap Revenge just raided and said good luck, SBU.
Shoutouts to Cap, he is another Pikmin runner.
He runs every game except for 1, and I keep bugging him to run 1, but he just refuses for some reason, because he's lame, I guess. I don't know.
He's the former Pikmin 2 Payoff Debt World Record holder, and I'm pretty sure he's also the former Pikmin 4 World Record holder.
I think he might still have it for Kyoichi, right? Unless somebody else took
Kyoichi, yeah. Forgot about that category.
He was in contention in Rescue Olimar for a while, but I think he hasn't done that in a while.
He's still close.
Pikmin 4 does indeed have its own speedruns and speedrun routes, and people have been going ham making those routes and trying to make them good. So yeah, here is the Twilight River cleanup day.
This is pretty simple. You just kind of walk in a line.
Yeah, basically just run through all these fruits and get them. We do get to blow up a spider, which is pretty cool, which I wish we could do in real life, a lot of us. But
you can, but I wouldn't recommend it.
There would be a bit more consequence in that case.
Look, in both cases, the spider dies.
Yeah. Also, it's raining, which has, like, its own cool music track, but...
It doesn't change anything, but...
Unfortunately, the rain track is, in my opinion, worse than the default track in this area. Also, this is
a nice change of scenery, though, because you can only get it on day 7 and day 8.
This is a burrowing snagret. He exists. Or rather, he existed for like 2 seconds.
In both games, you can kind of just throw Pikmin on him, and he'll die. Pikmin 1 is a little bit more complicated, but he can still die quickly, but it's RNG.
Pikmin 1 snagrets are like the most complicated snagrets in the series. Also, throwing captains up ledges, that is a mechanic. It turns out in this case, it just happens to skip this big puzzle that you're meant to do, but, you know, we forget that puzzle exists by this point.
I've never done that puzzle, because I thought that was the intended method in my casual playthrough.
There's like a trampoline pad that you can only use when you're riding the lily pads. I think you may need all 3 captains to do something in that area.
You only need 2. You just ride the lily pad and then throw the captain on the lily pad and he gets up the ledge. Or you can do that throw.
I think it's like a data file that you need all 3 captains for.
Yeah,
but,
probably.
You know, we forget data files exist too, because they're basically just tutorials. Except for, you know, the secret data files.
There is actually one that we're required to get in the off-road speedrun, and it's the one right after the tree, because when we exit that loading zone, it spawns us on the data file. But that's the only one we get, intentionally.
I don't remember where that is.
Tropical Wilds, it's the...
Oh, yeah. The one where you call Charlie through and then go through the loading zone and then back. Or am I misremembering?
It's like you go through the tree and then that's it, kind of.
Alright, so more juice and cutscenes.
If you
Intense gameplay.
If you want to say something, donations we have downtown.
Well, for the Raiders just coming in, first of all, thanks for the good luck. Second of all, this is SDAT 2023. That is Speed Doxathon 2023. We're raising money for Save the Children. There are a variety of cool incentives coming up, and there is a Zelda block coming up at the end of this Pikmin block, which seems to be rapidly approaching. Seems like we're doing a bit of a pretty much sweep of everything and just getting all the rest of the fruits. A quick question about this category. Is all fruits essentially the 100% category for this game?
Yes. It doesn't complete absolutely everything in the game, including the side modes, but for the main story, it is basically the 100% category, minus a few things such as the Piclopedia, data files, etc.
The Pikmin series is kind of unique in that way, because it doesn't really have, like, defined 100% categories. 3DX is actually the only game that has, like, an actual any percent, like a traditional game's any percent would be. So yeah, it's basically any percent in all fruits for this game, and for Pikmin 2, it's Pay Off Debt and All Treasures are the two main categories. All Treasures is actually like my favorite speedrun of all time, but unfortunately it is 4 hours, so we did not do that here in this marathon. And Pikmin 1 is interesting because it's one of the only games I've ever seen where any percent and 100% are the same thing, because the fastest way of getting to the credits is getting all 30 parts, which is really unique. And for Pikmin 4, I think they have like short categories, long categories, but I don't know if there's like a clearly defined 100%.
There's all areas 100%.
Yeah, but no, I have my opinions on how good of a definition that is.
I think there's also max percent, but it's like a miscellaneous category, I think.
There's all missions, but it would be like really stupid to actually run that consistently.
Okay, so the cherry did go there. There is a spot there where the cherry will just get stuck, but thankfully it wasn't that spot.
Yeah, because the Pikmin actually grab onto the stem of the cherry, so if the stem is like in some weird spot, then this game shows how well it's programmed and they just refuse to grab on.
The backup for that is you have to run all the way to the ship, grab a grounded Pikmin, and then put it on the cherry. Which, if you know you have to do that at a time, only loses like 2 seconds. But if you don't realize that, you are going to lose a lot of time doing that. So, we're about to put some Pikmin on these grapes, and the goal is they're gonna go put the grapes in the onion or the chip, and then they're gonna head back to it, and we're gonna try and meet the grapes Pikmin when they're coming back halfway, and we have to play the section very fast in order to do that.
Yeah, ideally they get stopped like before the paper bag that he pushed at the end of the first day here. Distant Tundra is actually like the revisit day is like one of the most eventful days, because like you do like most of the area on this day. You skip almost everything on the first trip. So you can get spicy sprays from these eggs. I've seen up to like 5 of them before.
There is a 4% chance that you get none, and then you have none for the next day, which has happened while I've been on world record pace before.
Oh, you also need to not waste bombs before you kill him, because there's a crystal over here, and the only way to break these is with bombs and with rocks, and obviously SBU does not have rocks in this area because it would be slow to do that. So, you know, kind of just assume that he gets it, and if he doesn't, then the one's kind of dead.
Ooh, Pikmin.
Thankfully, that did not happen.
Yeah.
Also, you're meant to, like, build a haystack and go around that and get shot by that guy while you're doing it, but, you know, rocks and throwing and charging and stuff and things, and it just kind of works.
This game is broken, and I love it for it. But I also hate this game because it's broken.
It's broken in a lot of good ways and then a lot of bad ways. As opposed to, like, Pikmin 2 isn't really broken in many areas besides, like, the knapsacks and early blues. And, like, the rest of it is just kind of playing good Pikmin. And you do have to play a lot of good Pikmin in all fruits to go fast, but it's also just kind of, like, broken, and you kind of have to just do the broken stuff in addition to doing the Pikmin stuff. Also, wings carry slower than grounded Pikmin, so that's why these fruits take like a while.
So there, I stopped that kiwi to actually get slightly faster juice cutscenes.
Oh yeah, that's one of the like weirdly optimized parts of all fruits that SBU has contributed to, where like the order that you get the fruits in determines like how high the juice bottle fills up, and then like when you are finished juicing a fruit, then it has to go to the next one.
Yeah.
So is you want to like finish off a bottle with a fruit whenever possible, I think, so that like you don't have to like see that half empty bottle again and then like see a swap transition in the middle of the juicing.
Yeah, the idea is every single bottle transition is 0.8 seconds. So if you have a fruit that gives exactly one bottle, you want it to just cap off a bottle and not be two halves, for example. And every single time you do that, it's going to be, it's going to save a second, essentially. And we do change the routing a little bit on day 2. I missed it, but you want to stop the lemon, and if you stop the lemon, you save about 5 seconds on day 4 and day 5.
Interesting. Also, if SBU forgot any fruits, then you need to not invite him for any more marathons. Okay, no, he got all the fruits. SBU, the proud owner of the 65 fruit world record.
65 and a half.
Wasn't it like one grape or something that you forgot? Or like one half star fruit or something?
I threw 5 Pikmin on the kiwi, and the kiwi didn't come back. So, and it would have been world record by 20 seconds.
Yeah, so clearly a skill-based flub on that run, causing him to not get a fruit.
It was a final fruit as well.
Okay, so this is the final area. This is
5 rock Pikmin.
Yeah, you're meant to not kill that many of the important colors, but you know, here we are. Sometimes you just have to finish out a run with improper squads. This area is mostly the same in all fruits as it is in any percent. It's just that you have yellows here, you have some blues here, so you can do the final fight a little bit more differently if things go wrong. And the Pikmin management in the middle of this area is a little different, but still conceptually the same.
So something we're gonna do is we're gonna put exactly 7 wings on Olimar, and the reason why we don't put more is because if he's too fast, then he gets in the way.
Yeah, so in case you've never played this area before, we have to escort Olimar out of this area, and the way that the game does that is he tries to just go wherever Brittany is until you've killed Brittany, and then it goes to Charlie and then Alf. But it turns out that you don't actually have to like complete all these puzzles for that to work. The game kind of just knows where to take Olimar if you make Brittany stand in specific spots. So you can abuse that and make Olimar kind of like go out of bounds and go places before you've actually like constructed the road to get through there. Yeah, 5 rocks showing why it is funny making SDU wait there.
Yeah. I think it's still gonna work, but it's gonna be very weird.
He's also taking a detour down here with all his wings for some reason.
Well, because I had like 30, so I couldn't throw them away in time.
Okay. But yeah, Olimar will just kind of float over that gap without having to build the bridge, which is nice. And then over here, he's going to do a really cool trick. So once again, walls are kind of just suggestions. If you know where to go, you can walk up walls, you can go through walls. Because this game is very well made.
They created a port of this game 7 years after the original release, and they still didn't fix it. And actually, they added that. It wasn't in the original version.
Yeah, this area looked very different in 3U before, like, patches and stuff. So he's gonna get these bombs here. It turns out that Plasm Wraith is a really chaotic and kind of weird fight to do when you just try and do it like straight up. But if you use bombs on him when he like spits out some of his like golden nectar or whatever it is, he like lowers his own health, and then you can bomb rock him at that point and get him to really low health, and then hopefully get a quick kill if you charge Pikmin on him fast enough.
Timing is also bad at night. The second he dies, time out.
Yeah, when he hits 0 health, it starts a cutscene, and that's the end of the run. If everything goes to plan, that will be like in 30 seconds.
Or like
not even
5.
Yeah, not even 30 seconds.
Okay, it's gonna be more. I messed it up, but it's still fine.
Yeah, the positioning on those bombs matters, and the timing in which you hit him matters, because then he sucks up all his goo and regains health. You can do a route that gets more bombs, but it's obviously slower.
So, unfortunately, we do have to fight him normally. But it's normal mode, so it's not that bad.
It's not actually that out of the way to get 4 bombs, because you're kind of waiting on Olimar a little bit.
Please die. Alright, timing end. So this game just kind of ends very suddenly, so...
Looks to be a 108.58, 59, somewhere in that range.
I got 53.
That is fair.
I mean, either way, that was a pretty decent run, all things considered, I would say.
GG.
Thank you. So that's Pikmin 3 Deluxe, all fruits. It looks very cool. It's a fun speedrun for when it goes well, but when it doesn't go well, it's not very fun. Shoutouts to Curtis for commentating with me, shoutouts to the Pikmin community, and shoutouts to Speeddogs for having me.
Yeah. Thanks again, guys. You guys did fantastic for this Pikmin block. Felt everything went really smoothly. Just to update chat and everybody on what's coming next, we have a Zelda block coming up next, and first up in that is BS The Legend of Zelda Ancient Stone Tablets, which is a Satellaview exclusive Zelda game. It is an official Zelda game, not a ROM hack or anything. That should be pretty interesting. I have no idea what to expect for that. But this is also going to be the end of my hosting block, so again, I just wanted to thank SDAT for having me, all the Speeddog staff, and all the donors, and everybody. It's just been a wonderful time. This will be my final hosting block for the marathon as well. So, thanks for having me. However, I will be a bit of a shameless self-plug. I will be returning next weekend, well, sort of, on Monday for another run of my own. But with that, stay tuned, don't click away, and we'll be ready to start up this Zelda block soon. Everybody give a big GG's to both of our Pikmin runners for the Pikmin block. Well done, guys.
Thank you.
thank you for having us and giving us the opportunity to do these runs.
Use your hands, go to your move.